right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Becoming a podcast. I'm your host, Ricky, and I have a special guest today. I met her on TikTok. What? TikTok, y'all? And now we are friends, okay? So I just want to introduce Sheena, and she is a lawyer. She is a content creator. And this, I just found out the other day that she is an author, okay? And I already looked at her boots and it's a little spicy, but I'm here for it. So let's welcome to the Becoming family, Sheena.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm just going to let you know I went to your Amazon when you told us about it the other day.
And girl, what was you thinking, girl?
And I was like, oh, she giving, what's her name? Zane. It's giving Zane.
Love Zane. Love Zane. But honestly, knowing me, were you really shocked by that?
I was here for it. I was here for it, girl. I was like, I don't know. And then you got like what? It was 6 books, I think.
I think I have 6, and then I have an anniversary edition of the first short story collection I ever did. So technically 7 things to purchase. So Ricky's going to put the link in the show notes, y'all. But if you are interested in erotic short stories, I have several on Amazon.com. If you don't fuck with Amazon, I totally get it. Don't feel bad. But when I first got into self-publishing, that's where everybody was doing it. So I was like, okay, I guess that's what I'm doing. So I'm a horror girly. So now I'm into horror erotica now.
Oh.
So I have a vampire story. I have a ghost story. I have a story, with a mysterious fog. So if you're into any of that, I have on there. The first short story collection I ever published was a trilogy. It's called the Swingers Trilogy. So that's 3 stories together. If you're looking for, a little bit longer of a read. But yeah, if you're into that, please check me out and leave your feedback.
Yes,
good
or
bad.
Yes, I will definitely do that. Because now I got off track, but so did the author come first or were you a lawyer first? Because
I was a lawyer first.
Okay,
I can remember literally being in like middle school writing poems. So
Girl,
I can't even tell you when I started writing, but I've been writing a long time, but I did not self-publish until I was already a lawyer. I got into it because of another lawyer that I met.
Oh, okay. So as a child, I too wrote poetry when I was younger. So I get that. And now I'm trying to write a screenplay, which you also are doing as well.
We need to try to figure out if we can have writing sessions together. Because, girl, I haven't touched that thing in so long. So
yeah, let's do that. I've also done some voice notes on my phone of like the opening scene. So I don't remember, because you know how sometimes you get an ideal and you don't have time to like write it. So I was like, hello, yes, this.
I love it.
Save it for later.
I have a whole bunch of, speaking of my short stories, I have a whole bunch of short story ideas in notes on my phone. Oh, like, okay. I'll just write like what the premise is. And then maybe if I have some opening lines, I just write that on there. One of my short stories, because I went to a talk with 2 amazing authors, Tayari Jones and Pearl Cleage. And I asked them, I said, listen, I really need y'all's help because I will do very well with writing. I'll have, a couple weeks. I write every single day. And then it'll be months at a time and I don't write anything. And so basically what Pearl Cleage's advice is she's like, you have to keep the story alive in your mind every single day. So even if you say, I'm just going to write 3 lines every day, you have to do the 3 lines because you have to keep the story alive. Because if you go months and you don't write anything, when you sit down, it's going to take you a good 30 minutes to even get back into the story and where you were. And I was like, you know what? You're so right. And I kept up with it. after I met her, I kept up with it for a little while, fell off. So yeah, I think I might do that. There was a Lent one time where instead of giving something up, I took something on and I said, I'm going to do my 3 lines every day. And I did it. I think this year for Lent, I'm going to bring that back.
Okay. Yeah, you got to hold yourself accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was like, on another podcast I did, it was the Don't Judge Me podcast. They gave me a date. So that's why I'm like, oh, I got to get into it because I know I gave them a date. So I got to start writing. But the thing I want to do is write, I want to make it into a series so I can do like little shorts of it and maybe put it online. And that way, kind of be like Issa Rae when she did Awkward Black Girl.
Yes, which I love, by the way.
Also me too. So, and I wish I would have started it earlier, but it wasn't time. But I did write a whole like kind of a spin. It was kind of like a spinoff to Living Single in a way because it was 4 girls and one lived a secret life, and it just da da da. And I lost the script. Like I had it, girl, I don't know where it is. Like I had 50 something pages of dialogue and script.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean it's handwritten on paper and you lost it? Oh my God. Sorry, friend.
Yeah, I don't know where that is. And I was like, dang it, I had a whole, like, only thing I had to do was finish it. And
I'm going to manifest that you find it. I'm going to pray and I'm going to manifest that you find it.
Thank you, friend. Thank you. You talked about writing as a child, but my question is to you was being a lawyer always what you wanted to do, or did you have something else?
So this is the story. So I can remember very clearly, I was in the kitchen. I think I told you I was raised on my grandparents. And I don't know if your grandparents had this, but you have a TV in the kitchen. So I can remember I was laying on my stomach on the floor, looking at the TV. My grandmother was watching, I believe, Perry Mason. And I said, I believe I was 8 years old. And I said, what is that? Like, what is that job? What is he doing? And she said, that's a lawyer. And I said, okay, well, I want to be a lawyer then. And I never, like, that was it. Like, how, like, when you're super young, you're like, I want to be a marine biologist. Like, I remember wanting to be a marine biologist. But once I settled on lawyer, I was done. Like, I was like, everything in my life will be for me to accomplish that goal. Like, doing college prep, track in high school, all that, what college I wanted to go to. I went to Emory University. I chose that because they had a very good English program, and English majors do well in law school because obviously there's a lot of writing. And you'll be surprised how many people, because I went to Georgia State University College of Law, and they have a night program. And so there are a lot of people that go to GSU College of Law that are changing careers. And some of them are like engineers. Some of them come from professions that don't emphasize writing. So it was shocking to me how many people struggled with writing because the career that they were coming from did not emphasize that. So if you're watching this, and you want to be a lawyer and you feel like you need to work on your writing skills, start doing that now. Because law school will be a lot easier for you if you do not struggle with writing. So that would be some advice I have for anybody watching this. But yeah, I decided when I was 8, and that was all she wrote. That was my first dream, was that I wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay, what was the other one?
I wanted to be a writer. Like, I wanted to be a published author. And for a long time, it was like, I really wanted that the traditional way. But now that I've self-published and people have, read my stuff, people that I don't know, because a lot of people that I have read my stuff because I've recommended it to them. But like people that I don't know have read it and have enjoyed it. It's like, all that matters is that you can provide enjoyment for someone. It doesn't matter that you weren't published by this large company and all that. I'm here to entertain. to improve people's lives. So if somebody read it and they enjoyed it, I'm happy with that.
And the thing is, I mean, you're kind of doing your life goals right now. Like, you're doing it. You're a lawyer. The second thing you wanted to write, you published what, 7 books now? You said.
Well, they're short stories. They're not books.
But it's still considered being an author. You write it, you published it. There you go.
You want me to do a third one?
What? Oh, okay. What's the third one?
The third one is okay. So the people that know me closely, I wanted to be what Jordan Peele is now before Get Out came out. I wanted to be a horror movie director that prioritized Black people and Black stories. And so when Get Out came out, I was like, not that, and I didn't have an idea like Get Out, but what he was talking about, like on the press tour, I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. So I really, like I said, I'm a horror girly. I really want to direct and write horror movies. The script I'm working on is a horror movie script. So my third dream is I want to direct a horror movie that I wrote. And I would love to meet Jordan Peele, shadow Jordan Peele. If anybody watches this, if you know Jordan Peele, send this to him. Please connect me with Jordan Peele if at all possible.
Positive energy out there, please. Yes. But, yes. Okay, with you saying that now, I'm saying you could do that right now. Like, I know a little production myself, and there's always film festivals that you can put if you make it short, we can shoot it and put it in film festivals.
I have thought about that. It's just a matter of when am I going to be able to set aside time to do that? And I got to finish the script.
Well, yeah, first writing it and then filming, and then what you can do now, do your research, because of course you're a lawyer, doing research. Start looking at film festivals that you want to. I think Film Freeway is one that they have all of, the film festivals and the ones that will get you to Oscars as well. Because I know one of them is the Orlando Film Festival. That a lot of the ones that were in those were Oscar noms. So so it's certain ones that will get you there. So definitely do that research, because it can happen. Sundance is definitely one. So yeah, we can make this happen within a year. I'm just saying.
No, a year? No.
You don't think so? A year?
No. We could, but I'm just saying, like, when I'm looking at my year, what I'm focused on is I'm trying to get promoted at my job. I'm not necessarily focused on like this script and doing this right now. But if I was, yeah, we could, because there is actually a lady, God forgive me, I cannot remember her name right now, but a Black woman who she did a short. Are you familiar with, it's a short about like Black vampires, and because they had the melanin, they could walk in the sunlight. Are you familiar with that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I have no idea.
So she did a short, and I actually followed her on Twitter. She did a short. And then I don't know, I think maybe she submitted it to a film festival, and then she had another idea, and she has now directed a full-length horror movie. I want to say Nanny. I think that's her. Have you heard of the film Nanny?
Nanny. Why does that sound kind of familiar?
It's about a Black woman, and she's nannying for like this white family, and then her son is like in the Caribbean or something like that. And then she's trying to like make enough money to bring her son to the States, and things happen. It's really good. And it's very well directed.
I think I found it. It came out in 2022.
What's the director?
I got to go to IMDb. Now, let me not get her name wrong. It started with an N.
That sounds like her. Okay. Try to pronounce it.
Girl, no.
No, that's the one. I have been following her a very long time, and she put that movie out. And so I know it can be done. It's just a matter of when am I going to do it?
You're a lawyer, but what kind of lawyer are you, and how did you get to that particular place?
Okay.
That makes sense.
So I've started out doing like criminal defense. Like I would go to traffic court with people a lot. So criminal defense, and I would do like misdemeanors. Well, wait. Okay. So when I was the summer before I graduated law school, I did an internship, a public interest internship where I worked at the Metro Conflict Defender. So, what a conflict defender is, let's say two people get arrested together. Most likely, their defense is going to be they're going to implicate each other. So, if one of them is represented by the public defender's office, the public defender can't represent both of them if they're going to implicate each other. So, one person will go to the public defender and one person will go to the conflict defender. So I did an internship with the Metro Conflict Defender, and I was working on cases. This was before I was even a lawyer. I was working on cases, major felonies, like armed robberies, burglaries, felony murder, all these different things. And that was hard because our clients, we had like young clients, like 19 years old, 18 years old, 20 years old. We had a young girl, she was like 14 or 15. She had a young baby, and the baby got into some fentanyl patches and ended up dying. And they charged her with murder. And so we worked on that case. So like major felonies. And I remember one of our clients, we lost the case, and was 19 years old and he got sentenced like 50 years. And I just remember thinking to myself, I don't think I'm going to be able to do major felonies anymore. Because I don't think I can take a whole, like, I was literally still in court, like, after he got sentenced. And I was like, I don't think that I can spend a whole career doing this. I think I'm going to have to defend people charged with misdemeanors because it's too much. A misdemeanor means maximum sentence is up to a year in jail. So, also, anybody watching this, if you need me to explain anything, when Ricky posts this, put your question in the comments and I will explain it. So that was my internship before I even graduated. So then I graduate. I start working on misdemeanors, personal injury, which is like representing people that are in car accidents. If somebody slips and falls somewhere, that's personal injury. Teeny tiny bit of family law, which is mostly divorces. I've done a little bit of immigration law, but most of what I've done is criminal defense. I'm very passionate about criminal defense, love criminal defense. And I was young and I was working and I was going to court 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, because usually there's not court on Fridays. And sometimes I would be in one county in court in the morning. I'd be in another county in court in the afternoon, same day. And I was driving all over to all the different counties in Georgia. And I was just like, you're young and you're hungry and you just want to work. And it's like, I burnt myself out. And so I burnt myself out. The job I had, I ended up getting fired. One of the few times I've been fired in my life. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do some contract work for a while. I'm just going to chill out and do some e-discovery work, document review. And so basically what that means is you work in the discovery phase of large litigation, and you basically help whatever large corporation you're working on the case for, help them decide what they're going to give to the other side in the litigation is the simplest way I can explain it. And so I was just going to do that for a few months. And then I said, I'm going to look for a permanent job because I didn't think I could support myself being a contractor because it's supposed to be temporary work. So I did it. And then I think maybe 2-3 months into it, I ended up getting on this project that was like a year-long project, a major pharmaceutical litigation. I was working in Columbia, South Carolina. And then I came back here to work, back to Atlanta, and I just kept like getting projects. And so I just kept doing it because I ended up being able to support myself. I was kind of like moving up the ranks. And next thing you know, now it's been this year, it'll be 14 years. I've been doing e-discovery. So that's been like the majority of what I've done over my career. And now I have, a supervisory role. I supervise a team and I actually really enjoy it. So that's where I started and that's what I do now.
Sounds like a lot though. Like doing the one with the mother, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. That was a hard case. And that's the thing. Representing people charged with felonies, it's a lot of hard cases. And I just was like, and also when I became a lawyer, I was only 26. So I was really young and I was just like, I don't think I can do a whole career of this. And so I was just like, I'm just going to do misdemeanors. But yeah, I loved being in court, loved criminal defense. And then I just kind of got into what I do now. And it's a lot more, it's a lot lower maintenance. I work from home now. I've been working from home almost in March. It'll be 6 years, which I cannot believe. I'm working from home for 6 years. So I'm just at this stage in my life, almost mid 40s. I'm good with where I'm at.
I know that's right. Staying at home ain't nothing like it.
Nothing like it.
Because when I'm at home and I get to work at home and I only go in for recordings, I'm like, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. Like, so this is not, I have not had the legal career that I thought I was going to have, but I'm very happy with it. And I think it turned out, the way that it was meant to. And, my license is active. I can represent anybody in the state of Georgia at any time. I can go and file an entry of appearance and represent somebody in court anytime I want. So if I wanted to go back to court and live that life, I could. But if I would probably just represent most likely somebody that I know here and there, I would not go back to the lifestyle of like going to court all the time. Cause I'm older now and it's like, I get tired more easily. So it's not something I would do now. That's for, let the young whippersnappers have it.
But what's so crazy is like when you said you work from home, I was like, I didn't think lawyers could work from home.
But even if, like, let's say you had your own practice, even if you had your own practice, you could work from home. Obviously, you have to, if you're representing people in court, you have to go to court. But other than being in court, you can work from home. Mm-hmm. When the pandemic happened, they had offices like all across the country. They closed them because people were being more productive and people were working more hours from home because now you don't have to commute. Because I don't know about where you live, but like, how Atlanta is. There are lots of people that live, 30 minutes away, 40 minutes away. So if you're not driving an hour each way, you can work those 2 hours. So once they saw that people were working more, they were like, oh, shut it down. So there's literally my company that I work for. There's no office for me to go to.
What's the best thing that's happened since you became a lawyer?
Like in my career, one of the greatest things that happened is I won my first ever bench trial. A bench trial is a trial without a jury. You just try the case directly to the judge. My first ever one when I was like 20, still like 26, 27. Okay. I won that case. And the lawyer that I was going up against was like twice my age. He really had not, in my opinion, it didn't seem like he had prepared at all, which of course I over prepared because it was like my first one. And I won. And I was so pleased with myself. So that was a great win that I had. My personal record. You watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, right?
Of course.
Remember when Cynthia told Phaedra, win a case? Remember that?
Yes.
I have my personal record as far as criminal defense. I've had a lot of dismissals of cases, a lot of good pleas, negotiations with the solicitor. The solicitor here in Georgia is what they're called when you're charged with a misdemeanor. When you're charged with a felony, that's the assistant district attorney, the ADA. So a lot of good negotiations with solicitors, a lot of good negotiations with ADAs. My record is pretty good. Like me personally, my record is pretty good. So Cynthia, I've won many cases, sweetheart. Why don't you get in the court and try it, girl? Lawyers are most of us are extremely cautious people because it's a lot easier to just not do the wrong thing or not do the thing that's going to get you in trouble as opposed to you doing the thing. Then you come to me and I got to try and fix it. So something that they teach us is it's not even about crossing the line. It's that you shouldn't even be able to see the line from where you are. So that's how I operate in my life. If there's any risk at all, I'm just not going to do it. It's not like I never take risks. I do. But yeah, I'm risk adverse in many ways. Like I'm trying to think, what's something risky that people do? I don't know. What'd you say?
I was saying there's a lot of things.
There's just a lot of risky things that people do that I'm not going to do.
Is there something that happened that you just like, you almost question if this is what you want to be in for real?
No.
Nothing?
No. Okay. Nothing has ever made me say, I regret becoming a lawyer. Now, there are a lot of disgruntled lawyers, a lot. But I think that's because, like I was saying, when you first become a lawyer, you really want to work and be in court and do all this. And I think a lot of people don't pay attention, especially like if fresh out of law school, you get a big firm job and you have to do billable hours and you're working a lot of hours. I think a lot of people don't pay attention to that they're burning themselves out. And so I think a lot of people who have become disgruntled lawyers or a lot of people who have changed professions, it's because by the time they realized that they had run themselves down, it was too late. And it was almost like they couldn't continue in the job anymore. Like they had to do something else because they were just so burnt out or stressed out or maybe having a health issue or something like that. Especially because I never worked in a big law firm like directly, but working in a big law firm is a lot of pressure.
Let's get into the lawyer shows. Is there any that you like that represents what lawyers do correctly? Or is there another show that just like, this ain't nothing like what we do and it's just all off?
Okay, How to Get Away with Murder.
Love it.
I almost couldn't watch the show because, it starts off, they're in school. I almost couldn't watch it because it was so realistic to what being in law school was like that it was almost traumatic. Like the way that she is with them, where she's like so aggressive with them and she cold calls on people and stuff like that. That is what being a first year law student is like. Like you're terrified of your professors because if they call on you and they say, what's the holding of the case? Which basically means what is the rule of law that the case created? You have to know. And because if you don't know, you're going to be embarrassed in front of your classmates and you don't want to look like an idiot. So that environment is very realistic to what it's like being in law school. Presumed Innocent is a show on Apple TV starring Jake Gyllenhaal. I believe it was a movie, I want to say, and it's also a book. Very good. I thought the portrayal of lawyers was very good by most people. Love Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm a very big Jake Gyllenhaal fan. Did not love him as a prosecutor. Not that like the acting was bad because Jake can act his ass off, but just like it just didn't have the right feel for how prosecutors are, in my experience. Everybody else did a great job, but him could have tweaked it a little, Jake. But that show I felt was very realistic. I made a whole bunch of videos. If you do watch that, because you haven't watched that yet, have you?
Would Presume Innocent?
Uh-huh.
No, I don't have Apple TV.
It's so good. If you ever get Apple TV, please watch it. I made videos because this was when I was first on TikTok. And so literally the videos are like 10 minutes. But I made videos every episode breaking it down, like how realistic I thought it was. Is that what I would or would not do? Like, yeah. So that show I think is pretty good. Are there any now? Okay, have you heard of a docuseries on Netflix called The Staircase?
No.
Okay. Have you heard about, so it's this guy, he was in his house with his wife. No, this is a real case. It's a docuseries. He's in the house with his wife and they were, drinking wine, hanging out or whatever. And then he comes in the house and she's lying at the bottom of a staircase in their house, passed away. And he got charged with her murder, obviously, because he was the only other person in the house. So he's saying, no, she must have fallen down the stairs and hit her head on a step. And that's what happened. So there's a docuseries that's on Netflix called The Staircase. Then HBO made a fictionalized series about the case. And so I was watching like that first episode. And so there's a scene where the lawyer for the husband, they have a meeting as like when he's determining if he's going to hire that lawyer or not in a diner. And I was like, so first of all, if you're watching this, if you don't know, consultations are still privileged. They're confidential because obviously you're telling me about your case for me to decide if I'm going to take it or not, or if you want me to be your lawyer or not. You cannot meet with a potential client in a public place. So I tweeted about that and about how ridiculous I thought that was. The husband's actual lawyer saw the tweet and responded and was like, girl, I know. And this did not happen. That's not what I did. That's not what happened. And so I ended up, corresponding with him because that's a big deal. He's a very big criminal defense lawyer. Had a lot of high profile cases. He also, there's a football player. I can't recall his name right now, but he was accused of murdering his pregnant girlfriend or ex-girlfriend. He represented him as well.
Oh, okay.
So I ended up corresponding with him and I actually ended up interviewing him on a Twitter space about the case. And It was so cool. And that was before Twitter Spaces stayed there, in perpetuity. But I screen recorded it. So I have the screen recording. So I still have the interview. But that was an amazing experience to be able to interview him about that case. But so that was an example of a show where they got it wrong. And they did something for dramatic effect that would never happen in real life.
Now, I wonder, did he say that they consulted with him or anybody from the original case?
He offered to be the legal consultant, he told me. And the person who played him in the show, I believe he said that he had never spoken to. And then I believe he said that he offered to, I forget who produced that series, but he offered to one of the producers that he was willing to consult. And then I believe he said Don't quote me, but I believe he said he didn't hear back. So he did not work on the show, which is kind of insane to me. But usually shows like that, they have a legal consultant. So I'm sure they had one. It just wasn't him. And then, for example, Presumed Innocent, that series was done by David. I can't remember his last name. Sorry, y'all. I know I'm forgetting a lot of names. Sorry. I can't remember his last name, but he did Law and Order, I want to believe. And he actually is a lawyer himself. So that is why that show was so realistic, because he is a lawyer as well.
Now, would you want to consult on a TV show?
Oh, I would love to do that. I would love to do that. It would be so fun. That's on the dream list.
Is there any show? Is there any show in particular that you would want to consult on?
Well, they're supposed to be making another. It was supposed to be one and done, but Presumed Innocent did so well. Presumed Innocent was the highest watched drama on Apple TV in their history at the time. So they said they are going to do another season of it. I would love to consult on Presumed Innocent. But like basically any legal show, if they ask me, I'm down. I'm there. Because, I also want to get more experience with like being on a set, observing how you film things. And so, because I don't know anything about that. So I would love to be in that world. So yeah, I would love to do it.
Have you thought about entertainment, being an entertainment lawyer?
I have thought about that, but like I said, girl, this point in my career, not interested in like learning a whole new field. But yeah, I would definitely consult.
I could definitely see you on set helping. You would be great at it. I'm just saying, we're gonna throw it out there in the universe. Come on, universe.
Let me tell you. There's a young Black lawyer that was on Presumed Innocent. Again, I cannot remember this Black queen's name. So Gabby Beans plays a young lawyer called Maya. She saw some of my videos, and so she ended up commenting in the comments, and I corresponded with her. We follow each other on TikTok. Telling you, TikTok has really given me so many things. With as many problems as there are with TikTok, TikTok has given me a lot. So I corresponded with her, and she literally said to me, because I was giving feedback on her portrayal in my videos, she literally said to me, she was like, "Girl, if I ever play another lawyer, I'm coming to I was like, "Oh my God." So yeah.
So you got a foot in the door, honey.
I know.
Hey, that's a connection. So we're gonna say you have a foot in the door that can lead to other things. Okay. Have you met other celebrities or any other people from like docuseries, from like trials or anything like that?
Sarunas Jackson, you remember on Insecure when Molly was sleeping with that guy that had the open marriage? He played the guy that had the open marriage. He was on a couple episodes of Presumed Innocent, and he saw the videos and commented on them. So I talked to him.
Okay. Yeah, I do remember that, because that was a whole big thing on Insecure.
Mm-hmm. What I would say about Molly, I think the way when we did get to see her at work, I think that was a realistic portrayal of her being a young associate in a large law firm. Now, Molly outside of work, I'm trying to think now, do I feel like she had a typical lawyer personality? She seemed kind of resistant to change, which I feel like we as lawyers can be sometimes.
And she looked like she was very OCD a little bit. Like her place was like very like in place, and I don't think
Molly is very type A, which a lot of lawyers are extremely type A. So that's accurate. Yeah, I think pretty accurate. I think they did a pretty good job with that.
Yeah, I think Issa Rae wouldn't. I think she would do her research for her characters. You feel what I'm saying? So
But
they make
isn't Molly based on like her real best friend? Is her real best friend a lawyer?
that I don't know.
I feel like I want to say that Molly is based on Issa Rae has a good friend that Molly is based on because I feel like I remember her saying something like I remember what's the actress's name? What's her name?
Stars with Yvonne Orji.
Yes, I remember Yvonne Orji saying something in an interview about that she met the real life her.
Oh, that I
So I
mean, yeah,
believe that character is based on someone, and so that person might be a lawyer, and so they, helped Issa with things.
definitely.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, that if that's true, that makes all the sense in the world and why it connected. Because I think that whole series, and I feel like I'm gonna watch it again because a lot's happened since I watched it the first time, and now being older, I'm like, I might look at it differently now.
Can we talk about something? This is very important. Issa and Lawrence end up
Mm-hmm.
together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the producers, co-creators, Prentice. I don't like Prentice Penny, by the way. But Prentice was like, they were saying as the producers, I didn't hear Issa say this. Like other producers were saying this. They were basically saying that they set up in the series, and it was obvious that Issa and Lawrence are soulmates. So if they didn't end up together at the end of the show, it would be them basically saying that Issa did not deserve to end up with her soulmate. And for me, there's a difference between being soulmates and just I've dated you for a long time and I've known you a long time. That does not make you my soulmate because you're one of the first major relationships I had. That's not what that means.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't believe that Issa and Lawrence are soulmates, one. Two, I don't believe at the time that they got back together at the end of the show, we had not seen enough growth from Lawrence that he deserved to be back with Issa. So I personally do not agree with that creative choice. And I'm interested to know your thoughts.
Sir, back then, I was kind of happy they got back together because I was like, she really cares about him. But also, I'm mad. What's his name? The light skinned dude that she was
With the
talking to.
curly hair?
No, no, it wasn't. He didn't have. What's
Oh, I thought
no?
you were talking about Lawrence's friend. Who are you talking
I'm talking about the guy she was dating that disappeared on her. Remember, he ghosted her.
about? Yeah.
Him. I liked him for her.
What did you think about Daniel?
Oh, Daniel, fine, but
Fine.
no. Mm, mm. But I don't think she was right for him at that time in her life because she was going through stuff. He seemed like a pretty good guy and they had something going on, but Issa was self-sabotaging herself and it just wasn't gonna work out. Um, I think she felt comfortable with Lawrence, and sometimes the dating pool has piss in it and you just want to just be comfortable with somebody that you already know already. But for me, if that was me, Lawrence had too much stuff going on. You got condolences over here.
Not condolences.
Oh, that's what we called her.
No,
Condolences.
I remember that's what we called her. Yep. We got condolences over here.
We got condolences and the baby
What
in that
was
whole
her real
situation.
name? What was her real name? Condola?
Condola, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Issa hated that we called that girl every name
I
but
know.
Condola.
I know.
She was
But
like,
he's
her
like,
name.
Issa, do you not know blacks? Like,
Hello, you from
hello?
Inglewood, girl. You know
Right.
how we do. But yeah, like she had so much going on with all of that. I my personally myself, I wouldn't want to take in all that because that was already too much when once she found out that she was dating Lawrence, then she got pregnant with his baby, then he moved away and they doing all this back and forth. But I understand sometimes you spin the block, and I believe if it would have went on, they probably would not have stayed together as long. I think they were trying to do a happy ending. Being realistic, I could see them staying together for a couple of years, and then it's just too much for her, and then she leaves.
Yeah, I agree.
But at the time, I think she needed him, and I think they needed each other.
Like,
And
needed him for what?
just because I think she was actually missing him, and I think if she hadn't took that step to go be with him and see if it would work out again, I think she would have been missing that. And she always wonder, what if?
Mm.
You feel what
Okay.
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I think that's why she was like, well, we haven't been together this long. I like the person he is right now. Let's just see. And that's why I feel like, okay, I get that. But then the ending, I'm just like, but I think they probably would not have stayed together as long. I think she would have got into it and just like, it's still too much for me. And I want somebody who I don't have to keep pulling with somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. So I don't know. That's my thought.
I agree.
But we had the Lawrence Hive girl. They was just, the men was getting on it.
No, Lawrence Hive is a bunch of annoying ass fuck niggas. Oh. That's what Lawrence Hive is. That's all it is. The way they was cheering when Issa they broke up and he got with that bank lady.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting. There was videos of them literally standing up, standing in front of the TV, that scene where they're having sex, cheering. Mm-hmm. Did you know that? Did you see that?
No.
Yes, there are videos of men watching that cheering.
I did not know that.
You know what? For you to write and create a television show that has that kind of power, that people will do that, is really quite amazing. Honestly, girl. Kudos to Issa. Issa is another one. She has a career that I feel like would love to have. Like, I feel like I'm trying to, like, Issa, how can I be you?
Girl, same. Because I connected with her since Awkward Black Girl. Like, right. Absolutely. That was my jam. And then when I found out Insecure was coming, I'm like, oh, I'm sad. And I feel like that's why everybody connected so good, because she took, from her real life, and just, she was the writer's room was excellent. Okay.
Excellent.
The casting was also good too. Like, she casted nobody I did not like. Everybody, I loved everybody. Kelly was my favorite. I ain't gonna let me some Kelly.
Kelly's everybody's favorite. Okay, wait. Did you watch her on The White Lotus?
Yes, I watched the first season. I haven't watched the second season. I just
She's
watched the
so good season. on the White Lotus. But
she's a good actress. She's just a good actress.
Absolutely.
All right, Sheena, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate you. Do you have anything you want to plug? Give out your Instagram.
You can find me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all of those and YouTube at Legal Sojourner, like Sojourner Truth. That's my handle on all those platforms. So feel free to follow me. If you want to DM me about anything I've said here, please do. But definitely please follow me on TikTok, because that is where my legal breakdown of shows, my legal breakdown of like when the housewives get in trouble, I make videos about that. When people sue people, I make videos about that. Follow me on TikTok if you don't follow me anywhere else, because I'm really trying to get to 10,000 followers so I can start getting paid for my posts. So please follow me on TikTok if you are so inclined.
We're going to see you again for part 2, where we're talking about your content creation.
Bye. See y'all in the next video. Make sure you come back.